Good morning, everybody. I am so grateful this morning that I can be here to, of course, bring to you our weekly word for the week. We have about a minute or so before I get going. Just wanted to wait for a few minutes while some of you that are joining can go ahead and share this with your friends, those who you're connected with on social media. Certainly, as always, I try to check in and see how was your week. For many of us, it has been a very sad and unfortunate for in a lot of different ways. But through it all, we are still here. Some of us have lost loved ones throughout this past week, and my heart goes out to you, and of course, sympathize with you, those you have lost. But it is now 10 a.m. on the East Coast, and good morning, and welcome to Inspirational Vitamins, your word for your week. This week, our word is kindness, the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. This morning, however, I'm going to extend my time because of what have been happening here in the United States and affect the entire globe. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that, then I'll get back to our word for this week. This morning, unlike any other of the 21 Monday mornings that I have been coming to you live with a word of inspiration for the week. We'll talk more about that later on. A week ago today, we in America and across the globe witnessed the slow death of an unarmed black man crying out loud, "I can't breathe." He died subsequently in the hands of a police officer. The death of George Floyd is unquestionable, unnecessary. It is unquestionable, avoidable. And most notable, it is unquestionable, a murder. In 1865, several historical events happened, including but not limited to these few. Congress passed the 13th Amendment, abolishing slavery in America. The passing was 124 to 24 dissented voices. What happened in 1865 also? Abraham Lincoln was shot in the head. He died a day later. What happened in 1865 was Andrew Johnson, who was the president at the time, issued a proclamation declaring armed resistance in the South is virtually was an act to end the American Civil War. And on December 6th, the 13th Amendment of the United States Constitution is ratified, abolishing slavery. I want for you to notice something here. In January, Congress passed the bill. It took 12 months before the Constitution get ratified. Why am I sharing this morning? I'm sharing it because change oftentimes requires time. Now is the time for systemic problems that have plagued our society and our community to be addressed and the necessary changes to be done. We cannot fight evil with evil. We must overcome evil with good. I want to say that again. We cannot fight evil with evil. We must overcome evil with good. This morning, the family of George Floyd are mourning the slow death of their brother or their family member. And for all of us who have watched that, I don't care if you're black, white, pink, blue, brown, we all looked at that as being tragic. Or we all should look at that as being tragic. And it should not have happened. But it did happen. And it has been happening. And perhaps it will happen again. So the question is this morning, how do we counter those things that plague our society, and how do we show kindness? Because that's the word for this week. And I know it's hard to show that kindness when you're dealing with pain and dealing with anger and dealing with so many other emotions that affect us. But we can. And it's going to require tremendous effort on all of our part. Every being that is in us, in order for us to do that. You see, the death of George Floyd has put the COVID pandemic sort of on the back burner temporarily. But I want to remind us this morning that people are still dying. Yeah, people are still dying. But in the midst of that, there are people that have shown tremendous kindness during crisis. And I wanted to share a story here with you that was written in the New York Times on April 3rd. And it's about a Brooklyn landlord by the name of Mario Salerno, who has 18 apartment buildings. Mario decided that he was going to basically cancel the rent for all the tenants. Not put it in the back burner, not forbearance, but basically absorb all of that rent that they would have paid. And when he was asked, why is he doing that? He said, I don't want my renters to stress about their payment during this COVID pandemic. That was very kind for Mario to do. And I know that even during this time that there are people that are showing kindness, expressing their kindness to one another in spite of what they're dealing with. So I challenge you this week. Yes, we must reflect, we must think, we must see how we move forward in the climate that we're in now. But in the midst of that, find a way in which you can express kindness to someone. It doesn't have to be monetary. It may have just been a word that can uplift the spirit of someone who may have been so devastated, so down and out, so feel hopeless. Your word can change their circumstances. Your word can give them hope to move forward. Your word can help them to know that, yes, we're down, but we're not out. I challenge you this week that if you find some time, somewhere, to show and express kindness to those around you and those who you're talking to and those who want to think that the world is coming to an end, that no, there's hope for tomorrow. And the expression goes, while there's life, there's hope. That may sound like a cliche, but it's not. I think the mere fact that we can do something, it's finding the courage to do it. And once you do that, you accomplish a milestone of things that perhaps you not even imagined that you could have. So this week, as we focus on the word kindness, yes, we recognize evil. But as I've stated earlier, that we cannot overcome evil with evil. We got to overcome it with good. So find a way this week to express kindness in the midst of the storm. Do me a favor, as always, share this video with your friends and with your loved ones, those that you connect with on social media. And join me next week, same time, for your word for your week. Until then, have a kind week.